I'm glad you watched the right one, too.
I was straight up about to queue up that Netflix one. I was like, oh, this has got the guy in it from Haunting Hill House. Nope. Wrong ass movie.
Tonight's, maybe you also, fellow Coven member, have enjoyed the wrong movie tonight. Tonight's movie night discussion is The Invitation from 2022. Turns out there's another movie called The Invitation from 2015.
Not it.
Also a horror movie, though.
Right.
It's like a cult thing, maybe, or something?
It sounds like a cult thing or maybe like a revenge thing. I'm not really sure. I haven't watched it yet, but I read enough about it that I was interested in watching it. So.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like a good movie, too. Not exactly. Yeah. It's so funny. You sent me the message and you were like, which one is it exactly? Because you had started to watch the other one. You were like, what an odd choice for the Coven to suggest this one. But
yeah, this is a little different.
Yeah. Welcome to the Articulate Coven, the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal universe, The Vampire Chronicles, Lives of the Mayfair Witches, and the Immortal Universe TV series from AMC and AMC+. The Articulate Coven is Ashley and Joel, but it's supported by listeners just like you. Find out more at articulatecoven.com/join. Friends, Coven members, hello and welcome to the Articulate Coven. We are your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. It is, as we record this, the next to last day of the end of Pride Month.
Ooh,
Happy Pride, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been a lovely Pride Month.
Theys and gays, thems and everything in between. What is it? Friends beyond the spectrum.
Beyond the binary.
Beyond the binary. There you go. Beyond the spectrum too. As
also
my mother,
beyond the spectrum. Yeah.
As my mother likes to say about all of her children, you got to rism with the tism.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
It's when we're all sitting around the dinner table with different vocal tics currently going on. That's one of those moments where you remember who our father was. Anyway, hi and welcome to the show. We generally are a show that talks about Anne Rice and the works thereof. We talk about her books. We talk about the movie adaptations of her works. We talk about the TV shows, especially from AMC and AMC+.
Very good adaptation of Interview with the Vampire.
And the much less good adaptation of Mayfair Witches.
We'll talk about it.
And the upcoming, who knows where it might land on that spectrum. Talamasca. Yeah, I read an article. I didn't read it, actually. I read the headline and I bookmark it to read it a later time. I'm honestly, at this point, I don't want to know more about Talamasca. I just want to see it. I know I'm going to get to see it soon enough. And I just want to develop my own thoughts and opinions about what they actually put out, not the way they are promoting it. Because I don't love the way they're promoting it currently.
Well, I mean, who knows what they're doing? I mean, really, who knows what they're doing? I like kind of the concept, though, so I'm excited. I am hoping because it's something that we have no expectations of as far as it's not based on a specific book. So no. we can be a little more clear-eyed going into it and hopeful that they're not going to fudge something up horribly.
Exactly. A little more loosey-goosey. Speaking of adaptations, there's one bit of interesting feedback that I want to talk about. And it wasn't really feedback, honestly. It was just a conversation that happened in our Facebook group this past week about, the specifics of the conversation don't matter as much as the broader topic. The post was made something about people denying the sexuality of the books and still being surprised about this show, the fact that the vampires are gay, and racism as well, I think, was mentioned broadly. But mostly the topic was focused on the sex and the fact that a lot of people can't move past, or seemingly can't move past, the fact that Lestat and Louis were always in a sexually romantic love in the novels.
I just don't know what books you read.
Okay. here's the one thing that I will say on that. And it was one of those things where I actually threw the conversation, although there was some snippiness first, and I was just like, hey, we can be polite. And everybody was, thankfully. But I, at least personally, I don't know about anybody else, but I came out of it thinking a little bit more broadly and willing to appreciate the fact that I do understand now, and this was something we've talked about before on the show. I didn't understand. Honestly, I didn't understand same-sex attraction. Definitely didn't understand the concepts of like bisexuality or sexuality on a spectrum, et cetera, when I was first reading these books. I had no concept of the idea of asexuality, for instance. And it was mentioned in this discussion that, hey, a lot of us identify as asexual, and we were drawn to Anne's vampires in particular because of the fact that they did not care for physical sexual love, and especially in all of the early books, the first 4, and even into Mimnock the Devil. It really, you have to get all the way to Blood and Gold and Pandora before 2 vampires having physical sex with each other happens. And while I'll still attest that the passage describing it they were enjoying it, the 2 parties were enjoying it. I can understand the read that it was clinical and more symbolic and metaphorical in nature than physically gratifying in any way.
Yes.
That's a read that I have overwritten, I think, in my head in the past. And so mea culpa on that one. And you're not wrong to read it that way. I will say, I think it is a fine line between those who are trying to carve out a space for an asexual reading of Anne's understanding of vampire sensuality, which again, the separation of the word sensuality and sexuality is something that doesn't happen a lot for me personally, but I understand how they are 2 different concepts.
They are very much.
Yeah. And so you're not wrong in that read, and I'm sorry if we've erased it in the past. I will say, though, that carving out that space for an asexual reading of these characters is dangerously close to the same set of arguments that are made by those who would deny their bisexuality and homosexuality, which is very clear in the text. So whether or not they're engaging in physical love, I would say the reason they're not is because the penetrative nature of their blood feeding replaces this. I made the comment that, like, hey, most of us probably don't masturbate quite as often as we did before we started having sex. Now that we do have the sex, because one is, I think, universally agreed to be better than
superior
the other one, right?
To the other.
Yeah. I mean, there's a time to everything turn. There's a season turn. But anyway, those of you that brought up that point and staked out the claim for asexuality, good call. You're right. I will say I am so used to arguing against the homophobic discussions of these books that I think it was my nature to be like, nope, they fucking bitch. They fucking.
They've always fucked. They're fucking vampires. Well,
and maybe not exactly.
Right. Well, and we don't want to, number one, we don't want anyone to ever feel like we don't find their opinions valid, because that is not at all the case. As long as you're not being a dickhead, I'm going to listen to what you think and be like, oh shit, that's a really good point. And we do tend to be, because we are also very caught up in the loose stat of it all as well. You know, like, we're very caught up in that. And so I think that it just, our conversations naturally kind of go more into that direction. Plus we think they're so sexy, but it's a good point, and it's a good thing to point out. It's a good thing for us to remember. Everyone is reading these books through their own eyes and through their own experiences and interpreting them thusly, which is probably why some people have some homophobic fucking moronic ideas about it too. Because deep down, they're just homophobic morons.
I mean, I feel like I have defended the reality or my understanding of these books and Anne's description of these books, and specifically that relationship between Louis and Lestat, so long against people who would say they were just roommates. I'm like, friend, you need to think about yourself actually in this
Let's
discussion.
have a long conversation about our buddies Bert and Ernie.
Indeed. Anyway, so to celebrate Pride, because Pride, the first Pride was a riot, and Pride is for everybody, y'all. So yes, asexual listeners and Coven members, hey, we hear you on that argument and discussion, and you're not wrong. but also no fucking homophobes.
Also that.
All right. I just want to acknowledge, I went to Pride. I went to Neela Pride for the second time. I think this is only the second year that it's happened, but maybe it happened but previous to last year. And last year was just the first year that I went in person. Anyway, it's a great event. Happened in the Monroe Civic Center here locally and was really, really cool. It was super well attended last year. The attendance was about the same. I'm getting a trying to reconnect message. Are you?
I am too.
All right. You're looking at this and you're like, first of all, what happened? Doodly doo, doodly doo, doodly doo, doodly doo. We look a little different and we sound a little different probably.
And we feel a little different.
I don't even know. I genuinely don't know what to expect as far as like the result of these files because it's been so long since I've recorded with Zoom. Yeah. Riverside.fm, no shade to them because they're genuinely a great service. I let all my clients use them. I make all my clients use them, honestly. But
we love them.
We've been recording with them since we moved over to video. Something is wrong with their servers. And last night they didn't admit it. Ashley and I tried to record last night and it was not happening.
Well, when you were on hold that long waiting for the chat, I was like, something's clearly wrong. There's a lot of angry pod bros. Like, I'm trying to tell my thoughts to the people and I can't fucking do it.
Do you know what they finally said though? When they finally responded, they were like, "Hey, thank you for notifying of us of this issue. We're receiving a high volume of calls and messages.
No shit.
We'll finish this conversation in email." And like this morning, early, I just got an email that said, "Hey, thanks for telling us about this issue. We really appreciate it." And no information at all. And I was like, okay. So then I logged on. I recorded a Dark Shadows episode, and that one worked fine mostly. And I was like,
too much for the server. You brought it all down.
I brought it all down again. Anyway, today they are admitting their issue. But what I was trying to say was, we enjoyed this wonderful Pride event yesterday. And thanks to everybody, the organizers, whoever put this thing on. I think apparently it changed from year to year, Ashley, who did it last year and who's doing it this year. But it was great. There were a lot of vendors. There was like a lot of fun stuff for like kids and old people and everybody in between. There was live music. There was a DJ at different times, you know. And here's an example of one of the vendors. So one of our daughters, and actually we got two different ones from these people, but both of our daughters ended up getting these little fidget things from this company. And I had them, now see, I've got you, Zoom is different, so I've got like a giant picture of you on one monitor now.
I know, I see you very large and in charge today.
Okay, so the name of this company is called Queer, and I don't normally do this isn't an ad, but they really were nice to me and my family yesterday. Queercrafters.com, and I'll put a link to this in the show notes, because there is a lot of really cool stuff. They have like some sensory things as well.
Ooh.
They had, my 17-year-old's partner got a pain stem keychain thing, like you grip it and it's got like little spinies. Anyway, all sorts of things. Both of my daughters, I believe, ended up with a little fidget toy that's a button that says "oh shit." It's literally the "oh shit" button.
I love it.
You know, like the little numbers and symbols. But whenever you made a purchase, though, and there were two of us standing there making the purchase, there was the kid that was getting it and then the parent paying for it, right? They gave us two of these little emotional support alpacas.
I love
that are just adorable. This one, mine was the only one that was blue, and the person standing there at the counter that made it, or that gave it to us, who sold it to us or whatever, was like, I'm not certain, but I think yours is temperature responsive. And I was like, did you just give me a hypercolor alpaca?
Holy shit.
It's not really hypercolor, but it is totally temperature responsive. It's blue, except if you heat it up, it turns white. And it is I'm so tickled with it. Anyway, my day was made yesterday at Pride. I hope yours has been made this month as well. Y'all, a lot of shit going on in the world. Go be with your people.
Yes. Celebrate the awesomeness as much as you can. And also, living with joy is a fucking defiant move. You know, that is rebellion in and of itself.
Okay, I posted 2 videos this week, one long form and one short, about politics, and I got such a tremendous number of "suck it, beta, Trump forever," or, you know, whatever, those sorts of comments. And I just got to thinking, I was like, when's the last time that you went on to some random individual's post,
a stranger,
pro Trump post, and said anything at all. When's the last time you took the time to watch a full length video from some
I
pro Trump
can't. It
person?
makes me gag.
No, I don't spend any of my time doing it. That's what kills me. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll just say this. If you are a person who is living out loud in one way or another, you are going to attract haters. And my point to you is to say to yourself, how terrible is their life that you live rent free in their head?
And fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck them.
Anyway, don't do things that you don't enjoy, folks. It's really not worth it. Ashley, to get to the point of the thing, I am so glad that I did enjoy this film this week.
I enjoyed it too. It's not like it's some
2022.
like great mind-boggling, like changed my life. I'm gonna make sure I watch it, fortnightly just to remember it. But I really had a great time watching it.
So very specifically, we got done with it. Kelly and I watched this one together, and I said, really enjoyed it. It was great. I did not like it as much as Ready or Not, which I think I think the production crew's the same, a lot of them anyway. And I thought to myself that this was going to be that sort of film. It is in some ways, to coin your phrase, is about 10, 15 minutes too long for one thing.
Yeah, I would say that that's accurate. That's definitely accurate. I would also say that there's so many red flags in this movie. Like, there are so many times that a woman with a brain in her head should have said, something's a little the fuck off here. And also, this also brings into question, for me, things I consider common knowledge. I think I consider some things common knowledge that are not common knowledge. Like, for instance, if you tell me that I'm coming to stay at your family's beautiful estate in England and it's named Carfax, I'm getting the fuck out. I'm not coming to your house.
Okay.
I'm not.
Do you know how late in this movie I realized it was named Carfax and that is a Dracula reference? It was so fucking late in this movie before I connected that one, Ashley.
They tell you immediately when she gets there, welcome to Carfax. I'm like, go away.
Oh, for sure. Also, the butler, who we know is a dick right off the bat.
Yeah.
Mr. Field, which again, I did not pick up on this one until quite late in the movie.
A little Renfield reference.
It's even in the credits. In the credits, he's listed as Renfield. Yeah. So I love the one that tickled me. The one that just tickled me is Mina and Jonathan Harker late in the movie. The old couple, down the lane that you think are going to save her, but actually just turn her back in.
No, because once she's Jonathan, and then you're like, I'm like, again, red flags. Also, a creepy couple at the end of the dark row. Fuck off. Ew. There's so many things in this that I'm like, oh, we would not have gotten this far into this story. Like, number one, what British person's excited to meet their American cousin? We're so crass and gross. No one wants to admit that they're related to an American.
Doug, the one that got me is when he admits that it's like the family scandal, but they're all super excited about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, wait a minute though. Your great uncle was alive for this family scandal.
Right.
Like he was involved in running her off and keeping it all secret and quiet, even the way that you lay it out. Okay, quickly, I want to talk about this. So the way this movie came about, it was written, first of all, directed by Jessica M. Thompson and written by Blair Butler. Stars Natalie Emanuel and Thomas Doherty.
Love her.
Obviously inspired by Dracula by Bram Stoker. So the script was originally titled The Bride. It was going to be produced by Emil Gladstone through his Latchkey Productions, Sam Raimi, Robert Tapert's Ghost House Pictures. They were both production companies involved. Butler was writing the script. However, Raimi and Tapert exited due to scheduling conflicts. By 2020, the film's director, producer, and new title were announced. Yet The Bride makes sense in the script in your pitch format,
right. But it does give too much away.
Well, also it's Frankenstein, right? Like that's
also
a Frankenstein reference if you're going to make a horror movie called The Bride. Well, honestly, I think there's currently a Frankenstein The Bride movie in production. So, or in pre-production anyway. This movie was originally going to feature a different lead character. Who was the actor? Where is it?
That's interesting because she is fantastic. I thought she was fantastic in this.
So Natalie was always there. Garrett Hedlund was
Oh,
originally the
yes.
cast in the lead role, and he had to leave, I think, again due to scheduling conflicts. This Doherty kid, I don't know him from anything else. Did you know
No,
him previously?
no, I don't think I had ever seen him in anything. There were a lot of people in this that did not look very familiar to me.
Okay, it
Oh,
turns
he's
out
in the Descendants stuff. That's what
yes,
he's in that Disney stuff. That's
he's
why.
he's he's Captain Hook's kid in The Descendants, or a
Gotcha.
kid of Captain Hook. And I absolutely do remember him from those. My girls especially were huge Descendants fan. We threw a whole freaking movie night party for Descendants 3 when it came out.
That's so
He was
fun.
also apparently in the Gossip Girl remake, and he was in The Lodge on Disney Channel, some other stuff too. This kid looks though, he looks so much like the oldest Stark kid from Game of
Oh, the
Thrones.
Rob Stark.
Yeah,
What's his name? Yep.
he was in, which Disney live action did he do? Was that Cinderella that he was in? Anyway, he looks like that guy to me. He also looks a lot like um the kid who plays Elvis. He's got very
Oh, yeah,
similar
yeah.
cheekbones and facial structure to
He's
the
really pretty. He looks
yeah.
very young to me. He's
He's super
30.
young. I
He's
mean,
30, which is like
that's
not,
hard to
I think he
believe.
looks, yeah, hard to believe. He looks younger than that. I felt like he felt a little young for this role, but on paper, no, he's fine. But
He even felt young for her, honestly. And
yeah,
I
he
know
did.
she's
He
not
did.
old.
No, no, not at all. But he did. He felt she's 36. He felt young for her. But also he was coming across to me as like 25, like
Yeah, at most, man. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Even in the role, I feel like he comes off young, not just his looks. Natalie Emanuel, though, let's talk about her for a minute.
I
So
love
she was
her.
cast right away for this and is a great fit, I think, in the role. I didn't realize or had forgotten she's in the Furious movies, the Fast and Furious movies. She was in
Oh,
Furious 7 and then 8, 9, and 10. She's going to be in 10 Part 2 as well. Um, but obviously, Missandei, the sort of right hand to Khaleesi
she
in
was
Game of
so
Thrones.
fabulous.
Such an amazing part of that, and also a direct connection to our buddy Jacob Anderson. With he's playing Louis now over an Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
Here she is, a big time movie star. This is a good role for her. Again,
Yeah, it is.
I love the pitch for it. The idea
Yeah, I
that
do
you tell
too.
me we're gonna do a roundabout remake of Dracula in a modern setting, and also we're going to play with it and give, it's a woman empowerment, damsel saves herself sort of film, which I
Yeah,
like.
I
um
look, this falls into the category of that good for her horror genre that we're all really enjoying these days. And this movie definitely has that vibe. I really like it. They start off really well, like getting you to care about this character. Like you find out her mother just passed away and she's an artist and she's really an interesting, kind of person. So you give a shit about her from Jump Street. She's also got a really cool best friend that we love immediately, you know.
I don't I don't really know what I would want to cut. I say it's 10 minutes too long because part of the pitch for this movie, part of what makes it interesting is that the turn affects you because you kind of get swept up in the idea of her having this, oh, she meets a prince
Well, and
basically, right? Like,
it's like a combination of like an orphan child finding a family and then also meeting a Prince Charming, so
yeah.
it's like a dual kind of like dueling fairy tales sort of situation, but it's all fucking nightmare vampires.
Well, that story, that love story part of it, I think is what makes this movie interesting or compelling at all, honestly, so that it is the turn. But I don't know what you cut in the first half of this movie to
Yeah.
get to that faster, but I think that's what has to happen for this movie to be a better movie. I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough needle to thread.
And
Um,
it's not a long movie. It's only like what 110 minutes,
yeah, it's
something like
not quite
that.
2 hours,
It's
I
not
don't
quite
think.
two
Yeah.
hours. You know, I don't
But
know.
it drags so much in the middle. I feel like the thing goes
Yeah.
on, and I mean, I don't know. I guess the three brides thing, making that important to the power of the Dracula story, is a really good idea, I feel like. But I don't really care about either one of the other wives. I think that's
Yeah.
part of my problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
now I'm asking for 10 more minutes, not 10 less minutes, Ashley. What
Exactly.
am I doing?
Exactly.
This is why Ashley and I critique movies. We don't talk. We don't make them, I guess.
We don't make them. Though I think I would be a very judicious editor.
There you go. There you go. Okay. It's a great moment early in this film that I think is, first of all, super indicative, like short lines to telling us about this woman, but also it, I think, gives us another one of the big flaws of this movie. This movie should have been R-rated. There's a moment at the opening scene where she's at this fancy dinner working as a waitress, and the speaker on stage, it's like a TED Talk style presentation that's happening while she's passing hors d'oeuvres, and she's going beef carpaccio, and everyone is turning her down. The speaker says, "What is your purpose?" And she, to herself, as she's walking away, says, "Beef freaking carpaccio." First of all, it should have been beef fucking carpaccio. And there should be more blood. There should be more gore in this. And I'm not a gore hound at all.
Yeah.
But like, this movie felt neutered from go. And I think it would have been better if we'd had a little nudity, honestly, in the love affair and the sexiness of it all. You know, make it a full-on sapphic attack where the first wife comes to meet her in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't know, man. I feel like one of the main differences between this and Ready or Not, which I do think is made by some of the same folks, Ready or Not's much more successful to me, is because Ready or Not's R. It's an R-rated film.
Yeah.
This is PG-13.
Well,
I don't know why you make this PG-13.
I don't know why you make a lot of horror PG-13.
I know kids want to see it, but like they'll see it on video.
And it's a tricky move to do. Like, it's just like, is it scary enough? Are you pushing it enough? Is it going far enough? You know, as far as like, are you going as far as you want to go?
Oh, did I lose you?
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I just ended my thought abruptly.
Well, no, you ended. I didn't have your video. This is why we don't record on Zoom, folks. I didn't have your video was in a separate window, and I didn't see you, and you were going up still on when you said that, and I was like, she's
not done.
She hasn't finished her point.
No,
Where did she
I'm done. Are you going as far as you want?
Okay.
Not, are you going as far as you want? What?
I don't know. What? Let's talk about one of the other important characters in this thing. Our good friend Oliver, played by Hugh Skinner.
Yeah.
Hugh Skinner's been in a bunch of stuff. Falling for Figaro came out in 2020. He was in W1A in 2014, Little Birds in 2020. He was in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Oh.
I don't remember him there, but I'm guessing he was one of the love interests for her. He's the right age. Anyway, he plays the English cousin who comes in to say, "Hey, we got notified."
Oh yeah, because she did the DNA test. That's the thing that's in the swag bag from the party.
Yes.
That's how this whole fucking thing starts. Like, think twice now before you spit into a little tube and send it out into the universe, because you might find out that your relatives are vampires, and you might find out that your relatives are Nazis.
Okay. Kelly asked me after the movie was over, she's like, "They never really went anywhere with the DNA thing. I thought we were going to find out. It just felt nefarious the way that all happened. And like, why would they give that out as like a swag in the bags at a big cocktail event like that?" And I was like, "Oh, I think they accidentally got her. I think they were very specifically targeting certain types of people and certain events. Like that was some swanky event you probably had to pay $1,000 a plate to be at."
Oh, right, I thought it was the company's event. I thought it was that company's event. Is how I interpreted it.
Literally the DNA
like it was like that
event.
DNA company's event, because it's
okay. That's how
I read it.
That's interesting. That fair. That might be it. My assumption was that the vampires own that DNA company and that they were working to try to track.
Yeah, that makes more sense probably than it just being lucky that this happened. I was like, whoa.
I thought this was one of those situations where like this is, I think, them targeting the upper crust, and they accidentally caught the right person because she happened to steal this, or her friend stole the swag bag, and she ended up with the DNA test and her friend didn't do it.
Right.
I think this was sort of like a coincidence that they got her, even though it was them trying to drop the net and find the person that they were looking for. That's my guess anyway. That all leads to this, though. she's talking to the friend about her cousin, and I think it's the cousin that says he's British. They're all insanely polite. And one of them, anyway, this back and forth is he's British. They're insanely polite. And the other one says because they're all racked with colonizers' guilt.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it.
I mean, they still holding a lot of shit in that London museum, right?
I mean, it's not all yours, friend. It belongs in a museum. Whose museum?
Yeah. Whose museum, Andy? The one other quote that I have in my notes here for this movie is "Don't trust men with goatees." Perhaps good information.
I know you're sitting there with that type of facial hair, but look, listen, from my personal experience in life, you got to be real cautious.
I think technically I've got what is described as a Van Dyke because I got the mustache too, right? I think when you only go one or the other, that's the issue. Actually.
A mustache is a real red flag for me, just in general. On its own,
particularly in this day and age, a mustache is such a choice. Such a choice. It's like having that high and tight hairstyle that all the Nazis wear. You might not be a Nazi because you wear it. I'm just saying, if you had the pencil thin Charlie Chaplin mustache, nobody thinks it's Charlie Chaplin. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, like, no, thank you. I won't let Brett touch me if he just has a mustache. I'm like, no, thank you. Hands off.
You know, that bit of information doesn't come in handy for Evie in this movie. Like she gets through the whole thing, not nary a goatee in sight.
Not a goatee in sight because, you know, the British are classier than goatees, I guess.
So, okay, the opening in this movie made me think very much they're doing a little take on, this feels like a Flanagan opening, right?
Yeah.
Oh, a woman commits suicide and folks are very upset about
it's
her
got a real Flanagan
life.
vibe. The second that piano, like we saw that piano, I was like, oh, fuck, she's going to hang herself with piano wire. Brett was like, what? I was like, yep. But
Why
I was
would
afraid
you
it was
do
going to
that?
be the really sharp shit and it was going to slice her whole head off.
Okay.
Like that's okay. If it R-rated, they would have sliced her head off.
You could have at least given the and the thump, right? Like even in the PG-13 movie.
How is that killing her?
I mean, that was my assumption, is that she was decapitated.
Yeah.
And that would kill even a vampire, one would assume, in this world anyway.
This situation.
But because it is a PG, my guess is there was a and a thump and maybe even like a spurt of blood.
But it probably got cut out.
Probably got cut out to maintain PG-13. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just unnecessary. Like, again, the precocious 14-year-old that wants to get into horror films is going to have a guiding parent or a great aunt or whatever that's going to get them into that movie at home anyway. We don't need to sell these movies to 12-year-olds in the movie theater. That's my point, folks. That's my point. All right, then we get in and we meet Evie Jackson, Evelyn Evie Jackson. She's a working artist. She's a sculptor, but she's making a living, doing probably all sorts of gigs. But in particular, gigs. We see her catering. We see her as a waitress for a catering establishment with, I mean, one of the shittiest bosses in recent memory as far as movie goes.
Kind of a dick. Well, I mean, there's another shitty boss in the same movie a little bit later when we meet the butler.
Very good point. Very good point. So you mentioned her friend who, let me pull up the
Courtney Taylor plays Grace.
Yeah, there you go. Courtney Taylor.
She's
all right.
Got a recurring role on Abbott Elementary, which is where I recognized her from.
Okay.
I was like, I thought I
recognized her too. Yeah. She's fantastic. Genuinely, give me a whole spinoff where it's vampire hunters, Evie and Grace. I'm down for that.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I would watch that sequel immediately.
Oh man, there you go. Go ahead and tell me that the footman that had the baby and raised it as his own was actually named Van Helsing, right?
Let's go that far.
Yeah. So that's the story that we get here once she meets Oliver. Oliver tells her what happened. Her great-grandmother, Emmeline, had a secret child with a black footman. And Ashley, they never talk about this in the movie, really. But that's why she commits suicide in the end, right? She's hung up still on
Yeah.
her love and her lost child, and she says she can't do it anymore. She can't feed anymore. She doesn't want to
Right.
kill
She stopped
humans.
eating.
It does make me wonder, was there not a single member of that Alexander clan that was a little bit more bloodthirsty, and a family full of people who were like, yeah, let's sell out a daughter to Dracula to maintain our power? Like,
I think they don't have a lot of girls.
I mean, maybe that's the thing, but this bleeding heart, that was the best you could offer up when the two others are so clearly fine with this, honestly.
Yeah.
Even is it Lucy?
Lucy,
who is
the sweet one. Yeah, Lucy's the sweet one.
Oh, I didn't think there's Lucy from instead of as Mina as well.
Yeah.
Like that's from Lucy from the story. Okay. Now I love it. Look at this. See, I missed that altogether. Our little blonde bombshell was Lucy from Dracula too.
All the whole time.
So, okay, I do like all of those references. I do like the way they play with this story and turn it around on its head. I really like that we just get sexy Dracula for the whole thing, basically.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with like
right, and all he is the charm and charisma and seduction, right? Which is great. I like all of that. I just don't know why it doesn't why didn't this work better for us? We both like it, but neither one of us loved it.
Well, yeah, it's because I don't think it's just not quite at that level. It's close. It's really close. But it's not like Midsummer, you know, like I didn't finish this and think, oh, yeah. I finished this and thought, yeah.
Kelly woke up this morning and chose violence. She played me a reel that was like every producer pitching an A24 movie, and this guy did Mad Libs with like, you know, what kind of animal and where is it set and et cetera, et cetera. And in the end, the conclusion is less of a final scene and more of a metaphor. And then the guy goes, yeah.
It's brilliant.
And when the first 10 people that walk out of the movie theater will watch a video and an essay that talks all about what this movie means, and then they'll pretend they knew it all along, and that'll make them feel smart. Ha ha ha. We'll make a reasonable amount of money on it.
That does sound like every A24 pitch session that's ever existed.
But genuinely, I think like that is what this film is missing, right? Like it is talking about this patriarchal society. It doesn't go quite as far.
It just doesn't go far enough.
That's it. It doesn't really have anything to say about this, you know, decades, generations long struggle where families are feeding their, honestly, and I didn't mention it earlier when we were talking about good for her horror movies,
right.
But like there's a Netflix one with Millie Bobby Brown called Damsel, which is like a dragon fighting movie.
Oh yeah.
It does this so much better, honestly, because it's like it takes that central conceit and then it says something about it. And it doesn't say much, don't get me wrong, but it says more than this did. I was just a little like, oh, well, boo.
Yeah, they could have gone farther, I think, with many things. I think it's just, that's the underlying kind of thing that keeps this from taking it from a good movie to a great movie. It has a terrible rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like a 31 or a 33. I was kind of like, did I like this movie more than I should have?
Well, I just kept saying, boy, it's so, everything that Ashley has said about Eggers movies is true about this one. Like it's 10 minutes too long. If this was like a tight 90, I feel like I could really get behind it. But what it really needs is maybe 5 to 10 minutes less, and it needs the R rating. That we need that decapitation at the beginning to really set things off. We need another a sapphic embrace maybe with the wives in the midway mark, something.
You could take out the scene where she goes jogging in the middle of the fucking night for some reason.
Yeah,
like that's a good snip. Like,
good
what
call.
The fuck? Like there's so many different ways to put someone outside besides, I'm gonna go for a jog in the middle of the night in the English countryside where it's dark. I know no one. And there could be animals. I don't even know what kind of animals are fucking around in England. I don't even know. I know there's hedgehogs.
This woman's never been there. Exactly. I was just watching an episode of Rick and Morty this morning, but like literally there's a long sequence in it where they get on an elevator. Two Ricks are sitting beside each other and one of them's manning the elevator and they go like halfway up. It's like 30 seconds, 45 seconds maybe of just silence. And then one turns to the other one and he goes, "You like football?" And the guy goes, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I don't know. Long elevator. It's trying to make small talk." And then like finally the elevator ride comes to an end. That's what the middle section of this movie feels like. It's like, I don't know, long elevator ride, trying to make small talk.
Yeah, like everything. It's like they're trying to build so much tension in like when we've got the cute little servants down in the basement getting the wine, and they're trying so hard to build tension in there. They do it. That's another scene you probably could have cut 3.5 minutes out of and still gotten a good amount of scare.
Or just give us one of the maids disappearing, but make it brutal. Don't make it like a random, like, oof, and they're gone. Like, again, show us something. Give us anything. R rating. I'm telling you, the studio heads. Look, hello.
It's hard. It's tricky. There's not a lot of successful horror movies that are PG-13. I would say one of the few that I've watched is.
Did you see how much money that Sinners movie made? That was R rated. It was sexy too.
It was
a lot of money.
It was good. That movie that came out that's got the gal that's playing Abby in The Last of Us in it. And it's like an alien film. It's like she's in a house by herself. The movie has almost no dialogue.
It's like
no one's coming to save us. No one's coming to save
you. Yeah, it's an alien invasion movie, but it's literally, I think it's silent, one word or something in the whole film.
It is a PG-13, and I remember I had a whole conversation with both Brett and a guy I work with who's into horror about that, because they were both skeptical about it being scary because of the PG-13 rating. And I was like, let's watch it and see. Brett and I watched it and went back to work, and I told my friend Lamario, I was like, holy shit, dude, that I know we've had this discussion about PG-13 horror. This is so fucking scary.
But that one gets it done for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know.
It terrified me.
Again, like, go back and look. There are ways to do it. I think honestly, like Jaws would probably be PG-13 in the modern era if it came out today, right?
This just isn't atmospheric enough to.
Yeah, it's just missing something, man.
It's just missing something.
It's just missing something. Good movie overall. I do want to say one quick word about the one other actor in this before we leave it altogether. Pertwee, what's his name? Sean Pertwee, who played Mr.
Oh, is that the asshole? Yeah, I loved him.
Okay. He's in a bunch of great stuff. Really, just a good actor altogether. I'm trying to think if you have heard of any of these. He was in Dog Soldiers. He was in Devil's Playground, Wild Bill, Howl. He did Agatha Christie's The Pale Horse. Yes. He was also in Gotham. He played Alfred in Gotham, the TV show on the WB or whatever channel, the Fox or whatever channel that came on. Yeah, from 2014 to 2019, he was Alfred, and really good as Alfred. His Alfred was scrappy. His Alfred was ex-SS guy, you know, and really
ex-SS.
Not SS. What's the Secret Service? What's the British Secret Service?
MI6.
No, not that. In the war, like what were they called before they were MI6? Okay. Yeah, he was in like.
Got you.
God, not SS.
Special services.
That's
British Special Services.
I think they called theirs SS too. Now that I think about it, but anyway, yes.
I bet not for long after that.
Probably not. Actually, you're right on that. But he was really good in that, and he's good in this as well. And again, like right off the bat in just basically that very first scene immediately makes it plain not only that he's a dickhead, but from top to bottom this situation's rotten. If you didn't know where we're going with this movie,
listen, they brought in 5 women dressed as servants, maids, and they're fucking numbered.
I was like, again, oh my.
That's 5 red flags embroidered onto your fucking aprons, ladies.
One thing the British know better than politeness and colonization, I would say, is ways to disappear the help.
Oh,
if you read,
that's quite true.
Shit. Agatha Christie novels,
I mean, there's a long history of disappearing the help.
This is a perfect example, though, Ashley, of how I feel like, honestly, I want more of these. I want more films that are fine. Like more films that they didn't spend a ton of money on this film either, right? They didn't go bankrupt. They probably made their money back, even though it got negative results on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, like not everything has to be
Wicked.
Yeah, but not everything has to be the Avengers or Wicked. Not everything has to be award winning either,
No.
right? Or like genre defining, or life changing. I like movies too.
Yeah.
This is a movie.
It's a good movie. It's a fun movie.
A fun movie. That's what it is.
It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. Thanks to everybody who suggested this, and thank you to those that voted for it. If you think to yourself, hey, I've got a favorite vampire movie or a werewolf movie or a whatever movie or another movie called The Invitation
that came out
in
I can
2015.
watch.
I really love that movie and I'd like Ashley and Joel to watch it and talk about it. Great. Join our Patreon, articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free. $5 more a month gets you access to voting on topics, on upcoming topics. We're going to have another book chosen pretty soon, although I got to tell you, they've already pretty much told us that we're going to do Blood Canticle because they want us to. Here's what it comes down to. Folks want Ashley to read those Prince Lestat novels.
Immediately.
And they're like, if we keep telling her to read other books, we're not going to get to them.
It's very true.
I think, honestly, at this point, we're probably going
to. Well, and that one picks up right. Does that pick up? That one picks up right after right.
Yes, Blackwood Farm is over and Blood Canticle is a direct sequel. There aren't a lot of those in the books, but it's basically, realistically, it's that last trilogy pretty much does that, and then it's Interview with the Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned are like that. And then it's Blackwood Farm and Blood Canticle. It's weird too because this is the period of time where Anne is angling back away from vampires. She's about to rejoin the church, and so she goes away from these for a few years. It's just, I don't know, strange times in the book reading, folks. But I think at this point we're probably going to plow through all of those before we get back to the witches or elsewhere. Regardless, though, you can be part of that conversation and discussion at articulatecoven.com/join. If you don't already have your hotel booked and you do want to be part of the celebration of life for Anne Rice in November 1st, All Saints Day. First of all, the tickets go on sale for that event specifically. July 11th. I sort of say January 11th. July 11th.
We're going to miss it, Joel.
Yeah, I know, right? July 11th, 9 a.m. PST, Pacific time. That I think Christopher did that very specifically because it's a reasonable amount of time. It's a reasonable time of day in basically the whole world.
Yeah.
So there you go. Put that on your calendars so that you can take advantage of it. Ticketmaster and Orpheum Theater's website, I think, is going to be the only two places to buy it. It's through the Ticketmaster application, and you have to purchase, or you can only purchase, I should say, 2 tickets per account. So if you're trying to go with a group, a bunch of y'all are going to need to coordinate how to buy those tickets all at the same time. That's what Ashley and I are doing. So
yes.
But if you're going to be there anyway for that, then you want to hang out with us. We've got hotel information. If you don't already have a hotel booked, that's in the show notes. Thanks to Toby Krstevski for setting up a block of rooms for us at the Sheraton on Canal Street. It really is a great hotel, and I think there are still rooms available there.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a live recording. We also, and this has already started, folks, there is a link in the show notes here for you to sign up for, or at least express your interest. What's going to happen is you'll say, yes, I would like to go. Here's when I could go. We'll talk to Rose. She'll send some links to say, hey, you've been chosen. Would you like to buy a ticket to go on the tour? What we're going to do is a vampire specific tour. We're maybe going to end up doing 2 if there's enough of you all that are interested. We'll try to do one either middle of the day on Saturday before the Anne Rice Celebration of Life or after our live recording on Sunday, the November 2nd. So there's your options. Links for that in the show notes. And then I'm still finalizing details on where we're going to do our live recording. But if you can't stay in New Orleans or if you're not going to go to New Orleans at all, that'll be live streamed as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we won't even make that Patreon exclusive. Like we'll live stream it on YouTube for everybody that wants to.
It'll be fun.
So, what else business wise? I guess that's about it. Next week we'll be back to Blackwood Farm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird section of the book. There's like a whole lot of Romeo and Juliet stuff next week, so look forward to that. It is so weird to watch these two incredibly privileged white people, like incredibly filthy rich white Southerners, go, "Oh Lordy me,
whoa,
what a time I have had."
Whoa is me.
And I mean, they have. Like, I don't have a ghost familiar.
They've chosen some weird things for themselves too. Let's be real. Man, I think I'm going to fuck all my cousins is a real just choice to make. So, Mona, let's just be real with that.
I'm super excited to talk about Mona and Tarquin next week. Join us for that. Until then, we have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.